Hello, Happy New Year everyone. First video of the year. That's not bad, is it? Not bad going, and it's still only the 3rd of January. So pleased with myself for that one. Right, okay, today I'm going to show you a phone that I've managed to purchase off eBay. Saying that, where is it? Still in the bag, right. How many of you out there remember rabbit phones? Okay, so rabbit phones, basically it's an old analog system that was introduced by Hutchinson. Where are we looking at now? But like 1990? Is it the 1990s? Very early 90s, late 80s, around about then. And basically the idea was that you could use it as a cordless telephone all around the house or the office. And if you go out and about to certain locations where they had a base station for one of these, you could actually make a telephone call using your handset. So it meant leaving the house, taking this with you, and a lot of post offices and large shopping centres had these signs up outside the shops. So basically, you can turn this phone on, you can make a phone call but not receive, and it then runs off your own home bill at home. Didn't really take off, unfortunately, which is a shame. I think this was at the times before cell phones got cheaper. So Vodafone and Cellnet were out there doing their bit of business, whatever. And this is supposed to be like a cheaper alternative to someone who just wants to be able to go shopping, take a handset with them, call home every now and again. Didn't really take off. So there you go. So the kit comprises basically of a base station. So this would be in your house, plugged into your telephone socket with a little mains adapter, 15 volt DC, and this will just sit neatly. Don't need to worry about this. Leave it alone, carry on your business. To charge the handset, it came with this nice little desktop charger. Just untangle that, like so. So when you're at home, fits in and charges, ready for use. Like I say, didn't really take off, but you could still use them as cordless telephones. It's just the external networks just didn't work. So I managed to get hold of one for a very, very reasonable price. I do gather they are somewhat of a collector's item. So if you manage to get a hold of one and you're into collecting, then these aren't a bad thing to start collecting. The only issue with them is that the battery inside dies. Now, it comes with, I don't think it came with rechargeable batteries, you have to buy them separately. But basically you can plug in ordinary AA batteries. And then if you wanted to use rechargeables, so you could dunk them into your desktop charger, you'd have to buy special NiCad rechargeable batteries, which are the same size as the ordinary batteries, but with an additional pin on the negative plate of your battery. And I'll bring you in close and I'll show you what I mean. So basically the way it worked was to plug an ordinary battery in, and I'm going to use this one. It just pops in like so. So you have the positive terminal touching that side, and the negative terminals will touch that side. So you've got those two pins there. So there's two pins there and two pins there. Those are for your negative terminal of your battery. Now if you plug in one of their special rechargeable batteries, that'll be basically as you see here, your positive, and then there'll be another little finer pin coming off the negative of your battery. And when plugged in, it would make contact with that third contact that you see there and there. So there's no danger here of charging or attempting to charge up now like an ordinary alkaline battery. It would have to be a special rechargeable battery. Okay, so what I intend on doing today is to make up my own battery pack for this. I don't have AA rechargeable spare, but I do have some AAAs which are spare. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just solder some cables, some little wires onto this battery, and solder the positive there and the negative to the charging pin on the right, and again positive to the left, negative charging pin to the right. A very simple procedure, shouldn't take long at all. Okay, so what I've done here then, I've just cut some bits of wire, just long enough. To make it a bit easier, I'm going to just tape these two batteries together, just so it keeps them absolutely still whilst I'm trying to work on them. So with these batteries now taped together, it's just a little bit easier to work on. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is to prepare these batteries ready to solder. Because of the very fine smooth surface, just going to roughen them up a little bit. There we go. And then pop those in there ready to solder. Next thing, I'm going to just tin these wires. Just enough to allow the solder to take to easier. So, let's do the two negatives first, and then the two positives. There we go. So those little tails now I'll just solder straight onto the terminals inside the battery. Move that out of the way, thank you for your help. Now then, I did give these a bit of a clean when I first acquired the phone, so we should be okay. Contact wise, okay. So let's just get this tinned inside here. Right then, now these pins here, just give you another closer look at those. It's the middle one, if you can see that on focus, that needs to be attached to. And I don't want to grab any other contact. Right, after much playing around, it's not powering up. But if I pop it into the desktop charger, the light comes on. So I'm beginning to wonder whether those two terminals are still supposed to be connected as part of the powering up the handset procedure, and it's just those separate pins there that are there to charge. So I'm just going to take out the battery and have a bit of a play and just join those terminals together, just to see whether that does make any difference. It would make sense, so I could understand it if it did. Yes. Okay, so it powers up if I push the other spring terminals onto those soldered connectors. So let's just bridge those over now then. There we go. Powers up. You can tell it's powering up because it displays the B just there. So that's off. That's on. Okay, wonderful. So let's now carefully close all these wires in. And close it up. Okay. Power's on. And it charges. Lovely. Right, so that's working well. I'm happy with that. Let's turn the soldering iron off. Okay, so the next thing I needed to do is to look at the base unit here. Now, the base unit's in very good condition. The only issue with this is the rubber sleeving, which just covers the springy wire antenna, seems to have slightly dried out and come apart. This unfortunately happens. It's quite bent as well, and if you try to open it up or straighten it out, you can see it's cracked there as well. So it's not in very good condition, but I have seen a lot worse. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to glue this into place, and then I might cover this in like a heat shrink, a plastic tubing heat shrink. I'll have to see. But first of all, let's get that glued into position first. Okay. I think that's stirred well enough. So, we're going to now carefully align that on there. What I don't want to do is to have this glue spilling out anywhere. So I'll just touch it gently on there as well. There we go. Let's get a bit of a cloth. Really spread it around there. Lovely. Right. That is now in place. Perfect. Right, we'll give that a little while to dry. And what I need to do now is to figure out what tubing I can put over that, just to prevent any further cracks and to keep it all into place. Now that fits. The only problem is it's got the voltage rating on the outside, and I don't want that on there at all. Have I got any other? Not in the right size, I haven't. Okay, well, fair enough. I don't want to ruin the look by using a different colour. Like I said, I don't want to ruin this by putting on something that's going to look too obvious. So we'll leave that for the time being. So there you have it, folks. That's how you do a basic repair on one of these. Interesting network. Have a look on Google to find out a bit more about the Rabbit network. It's interesting how it worked and the philosophy behind it. Like I say, it's just a shame it didn't really take off better than it did. Like I say, I think Vodafone and Cellnet, who were the leading operators over here in the UK, saw the competition and decided just to get rid of that. Which is a good thing all in all, I suppose, for Vodafone and O2 or Cellnet, because it did help bring on the other networks. So I'm happy with that. So in clean condition, I can't use this for anything other than as a cordless telephone around the house. You don't have an intercom on this. It does have a pager facility, but no intercom. I don't need an intercom anyway because I use two-way radio for the house comms. So when I'm needed inside, I'm shouted at over that. Telephone wise, yeah, it works really well. I have tried this out as a telephone. It's lovely quality, very clear both ends. But still, as a telephone to use, it's brilliant. Very pleased with it. I don't think it will get used. I'll use it for a little while in the shack perhaps, because of the range. This will reach to the house with this range, but it won't be really used all that often. Okay guys and gals, thanks for watching. Hope this has been of some interest, and I'll catch you in the next video. Cheerio.